Hi, good morning. Pleasant morning to you. This is your nurse, Casey, and this morning I wanted to talk a little bit about um, emotional intelligence, and it goes into what we've been talking about self validation, release, all of that has to do with emotional intelligence. And I wanted to not go live just yet. So I didn't invite other people to this live. This is a practice live, but I want to post it later. Okay, I'm not gonna ramble. So today in the United States is actually Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. It's a holiday, and my personal take on holidays is my personal take is that people revere the person more than the purpose. So, some of the meaning of some of the meaning of why the person became that person gets lost, and the focus is a lot on the icon of the person. A confession I would make is that I've lived as an adult. I have lived the adult half of my life in the United States, and about 16 years, if we get in personal. And I'll just be honest and let you know that even though I heard about Martin Luther King, I had no idea who he was. Never heard any of his speeches. I think all I heard was and maybe it's from a song, and just the little things that people say, like I have a dream. Yeah, that song, I have a dream. One day we'll work it out. So that's about all I know, right? That I knew. And last year during the pandemic, I don't know, I was led to listen to what he had to say, and I was taken away. I was amazed. I'm like, I have never heard a human being in modern times speak the way he spoke. And some of the things I had biases about what I never heard what he talked about, but I thought I knew what he was all about. I thought he was just a black man talking about supporting and elevating black people, and he did talk a lot about that. But he was talking mostly about humanity. And the reason why I want to talk about him this morning is because the problems that he addressed still exist today. And I think we get like our this is all my opinion, so please take it with a grain of salt. If it doesn't suit you, don't agree, that's all okay, but I'm just expressing and sharing my opinion. Okay, so I heard this quote, and it says, what is legal is not always what is moral. And so a lot of what Martin Luther King addressed in his speeches was about morality, humanity, and integrity. And those three qualities are sorely lacking in our society today. And I really want to speak up on these topics because, as a nurse who is a holistic nurse, encouraging people to become emotionally intelligent in a society that is based solely, mainly, heavily on intellectual intelligence. There's a little bit of there's a little disparity or unequalness, unevenness when it comes to emotional intelligence, and a lot of people realize, hey, I'm not emotionally intelligent, but I don't know what that means. And so many people, when they think of the word immoral, they think about having relations with somebody outside. They think about more in a sexual state, but we are living at a period of time where morality is very, very low. And it has little to do with just simply someone having like a spiritual problem, or it has a lot to do with trauma. And I just want to speak out and speak up for for many people who maybe they align themselves and they think I'm an immoral person, not realizing that they are living in Western society, which is part of an immoral system. So the whole system is immoral. And I'm going to deep dive into this a little bit. And I hope that it just brings awareness to people. Okay. So you have what you call, and they say it a lot, especially in the legal world. Fact and feelings are two different things. Okay, so when you're dwelling in facts, you're dwelling in an intellectual space. So when you're in an intellectual space, right, that is highly ego driven. It's what you know, it's who you are, it's what you represent in society. Feeling, on the other hand, is a high emotional state. So there the problem comes when you have to make a moral decision, or just let's just say you got to do the right thing, right? A lot of people find it hard because in an intellectual space, right, doing the right thing may look different from feeling space. So you could have basically been correct in what you did. Legally, you were correct, but morally, you were incorrect. And that is the point of understanding the difference. Has everything to do with having a high emotional intelligence. Okay, so I'll be vulnerable here, and I'll give you an example. Right, so I was placed in, over the past 5 years, I was placed in so many taxing situations where I I honestly didn't know what the right thing to do was, because legally or officially, or what looks good on paper, right, was one thing, right? But if I did that, I know my personal relationship with my creator, my personal relationship with knowing what is right from wrong, I knew that it was gonna it wasn't gonna be right. It wasn't gonna be right. I was gonna go against my conscience. I was gonna go against my morals, what I know to be right about humanity, my humanity. Let's not even just say I was gonna go against humanity, even though the decision I was gonna make was gonna be a legal decision in every way. And just getting a little bit more specific, because this is really hard topic to talk about. But for me, I was on the brink of divorce, and I had all the legal rights to do it, every legal right. Nobody could fault me if I did it. But morally, knowing what I knew, knowing myself, and I'm just gonna be very honest here. It had little to do with the other person, and it had everything to do with myself. And I'll just share with you the thoughts in my head. So I could have been a missionary, right? And that was my live stream, to be a missionary. And when I was faced with the situation, in my head, I wasn't thinking about anybody else but myself. I was thinking, oh, this is the perfect opportunity for me to get out of a situation that looks like it's going to impede what I really want to do. And I share my story because when we're faced with moral humanity decisions, they're so subtle. Sometimes they come all dramatic, like, your life is gonna end or your marriage is gonna end. But the reality of it is that they are so subtle, and nobody knows in that moment but you if you did the right thing. Legally, you may have been right. Morally, you were wrong. And I think Dr. Martin Luther King, spoke a lot about that. But he addressed the entire country. He actually addressed the entire Western world. And I think each day we live and interact with other people, I think we're constantly being faced with, am I doing the right thing? Everybody can look at you and look at your life and say, oh my gosh, you are awesome. You are doing such a good job. You're doing the right thing. On paper, you look all right. But inside, you're funky. You're not doing the right thing. You know that what you need to do, you're not doing. And nobody else can see that but you. And I think that goes even past morality, and it goes into humanity, or what is innate to you, and what you know, or how you should treat another person. So I think on the topic of emotional intelligence, I think it leads to, just as intellectual intelligence honors facts, emotional intelligence honors feelings. So when you're honoring a fact, it doesn't matter what you feel, it's either right or it's wrong, right? When you're honoring a feeling, right? Maybe the feeling of your husband, your children, someone very near and dear to you, it does not matter if it is right or wrong, if that's the way they feel, right? So it's a whole different mindset when it comes to facts and feelings and how to honor and respect them. There's a place and a space for each one. It's not about which one's better, but it's about being aware of the balance between both. So this is just what I wanted to share. Do you have any experiences of how you make moral decisions, how you have had to be placed in a pickle? Don't have me over here being the only one sharing my guts. Help me with authenticity. Comment, share with someone you think need to hear this message. I'm here to not tell you what to do, but just create a space of awareness and have real talk, real conversation,